from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, and welcome to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. It is Thursday, 30th January 2025, and we're coming to you live from the Port Mall here in Scarborough. I am Adana Kumbi. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Ladies and gentlemen, can you believe it's the 30th of January? The first month of 2025 is almost coming to an end. Can you believe it? Some say it's the fastest, the quickest January ever, and some are still convinced that January took its good old time to get here. But my belief is that this January, it really wrapped up really quickly. I don't know. Let's know what you think about that. You know, you can leave your comments on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel. This morning, wherever you are viewing us from, we are so happy that you have chosen us and made us your number one choice for morning show here in Tobago. Whether you are in your kitchen having your first cup of coffee for the morning, or you are in your garden pottering around, or getting ready for school and work this morning, we say welcome and thank you so much for choosing us. We do have a lovely show lined up for you this morning, and we do hope that you can stay with us throughout the entire programming. But before we get into those conversations, we head on over to the news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Adana. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Thursday, January 30th, 2025. At the sod-turning ceremony for Wassa's Goldsboro Water Treatment Plant, THA Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith Brebner criticized the government over Tobago's water issues and the THA's exclusion from key events. Cabinet members including Ayanna Webster-Roy, Penelope Beckles and Marvin Gonzalez strongly defended the central government's effort, dismissing Brebner's concerns as political. Gonzalez denied excluding the THA and highlighted past unacknowledged invitations. He emphasized the $77 million already invested in Tobago's water supply, with plans to increase it to $181 million. Up next, the Trump administration revoked a directive halting federal assistance programs, but a freeze on foreign aid remains. A federal judge temporarily stayed the order following an emergency hearing. CARICOM leaders will discuss the issue at their Barbados meeting. NGOs like Living Water Community brace for impacts on refugee aid. Government officials in Trinidad and Tobago will monitor developments, while experts warn regional crime initiatives may suffer. The U.S. defends its right to adjust aid policies, with concerns over halted U.S. aid-funded programs targeting gang violence in the Caribbean. And finally, congratulations to RBC Redemption Songsetters Youth Academy, the sole junior band from Tobago, in the 2025 National Junior Panorama Competition. Their outstanding performance has earned them a spot in the finals at the Queen's Park Savannah on Sunday, 2nd February, where they will be performing in position number 3. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Thank you, Biana, for our news there in 90 seconds. And of course, position number 3 is a good place to position yourself for Panorama. And of course, yes, I join with you in saying congratulations. Yes, you know, every time Tobago gets the opportunity to take a stage, whether it is nationally or internationally, we all rally around them. Yes. So we are going to be glued to our televisions as we provide that measure of support, because indeed we are proud. Even if we don't place, but we got into place, eh? Yes. We are got into place.
Yes, yes. I was watching the performance on a video on social media, and you could see the youth enjoying that performance there.
Yeah, you felt the energy, you know, you really felt it. And you know, it's so good that we continue to ensure that the young people remain a part of our culture, that, you know, we can feel safe, that our culture is in safe hands and that it's not dying. And so I want to encourage more young people to come up, and, you know, parents, guardians, those who are, you know, sort of in charge, to kind of call on the young people, give them an opportunity where they can come forward and, you know, be a part of what is happening out there, whether it is culture, sports, whatever it is, community projects, to keep a handle on our young people, of course, and keep them going. Biana, you know, some people said that January this year, it flew by. What is your opinion on that?
Well, it's really true, because, you know, long time you would have said, oh boy, January, it has 100 days. So some persons counting down the 90, how much, you know, and suffer it to be so. We're at the end. Tomorrow is the last.
For me, I felt as if, wow, we already, when we were in the 20s, I couldn't believe we got to the 20s so quickly.
Yes.
Because, and the primary thing is people counting on when is my salary going to hit in the bank, but it's so amazing that we are here. It didn't feel heavy. It didn't feel like a burden.
Yes.
And here we are almost at the end of January. So we have to give God thanks for that.
Yes.
All right, Bianna, I do hope that as we get ready to head on into the weekend, coming tomorrow and into the weekend, that you have your plan set up. And, we're going to remain consistent in what we are doing, because that word is going to remain relevant for as long as we shall live.
Yes.
So do have a wonderful, wonderful day. And thank you so much for coming and sit with us this morning.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the morning where we celebrate with those who are celebrating. It's time for our birthday shout-outs. Today we have to celebrate with the man. His name is Rensil Sebro. He is celebrating a birthday today, and we say happy, happy birthday to you. We do pray God's blessings upon your life, and we hope that you enjoy your birthday season. So happy, happy birthday to you. We have our birthday today. We have our birthday today. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a birthday. Can we have a drum roll, please? Drum roll, please. This is the lady Mrs. Annette Sukia Wood. Yes, she is celebrating a birthday today, and that surname might sound familiar. I'll let you connect the dots there on that one. But Annette is celebrating a birthday today, and we do say happy birthday to you, Annette, coming to you from all of us here at Tobago Updates Television, and you know who. Happy birthday, Annette. We appreciate you, and we do hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday today. And finally, on our birthday rundown, we have Sheila Duke Thomas. She also is celebrating a birthday today. Sheila, we say happy birthday to you, gorgeous lady. We do hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday today. We pray that this year, the chapters of your book is beautifully written, and we do hope that you enjoy all that comes with celebrating a birthday. So happy birthday to you as well. And of course, if you are celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, a promotion, a retirement, a dedication of a baby, whatever you are celebrating, Tobago Updates Television family joins in the celebration with you. And we remind you to put God first and to include him in your celebrations, because he is the sole reason why there is anything to celebrate. And let me just say thank you to all of you who are viewing us on our Facebook live stream, on our YouTube channel, on AMPLIA 102, or on Flow 121 or 132. Yes, we are now transmitting on Flow. So we say thank you to all of you who have chosen us this morning, whether you are viewing right here in Tobago, in Trinidad, the Caribbean region, the United States of America, the United Kingdom, all of Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, wherever you are today. We say thank you so much for choosing us. It is because of you why we are number one. And you might be wondering, who are we having conversations with this morning in studio? Well, I can share with you. We start off the conversation by speaking with Mr. Ian Dauflair, Senior Lecturer of the Leeds Beckett University in the United Kingdom, and we're talking about Leeds Beckett Law Program. Yes, you want to have ears on that conversation this morning to see how you can benefit from this program. And then we speak with Mr. Darrell Trim. He's the head coach of Soccer Elite Football Club, and Mr. Curtis Griffith, one-on-one control tactics basic instructor. And we're talking about Combat Readiness Program. What is that about, and how can you be a part of that? And we wrap conversations by speaking with Mrs. Natisha Charles-Pantin, Assemblyman Natisha Charles-Pantin, Secretary of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, and Ricardo Alfred, the Chairman of TADCO. We're talking about the open day on the Capital of Paradise 1. As you know, the Capital of Paradise is back in commission, and so we're going to be talking about that as well. You do want to be a part of all of those conversations and hear how you can be a part. Comment on our Facebook live stream. Leave your opinions there so we can ensure that you're a part of the conversation, you know what is happening, and that you are fully engaged. We want to know what you think. We want to know what you say, and we want to hear the questions that you want to ask as we carry on these conversations this morning. Up next, of course, we have up next Mr. Ian Dauflair. He is next this morning, and he's coming up right after the break. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, we have to say, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
the game is on. You don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 gigabyte fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We begin conversations this morning and we speak with Mr. Ian DeFleur. He is a senior lecturer at the Leeds Beckett University, and this morning we're talking all about a law program. How is this beneficial to you? Well, to find out, you have to be a part of this conversation. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure having you on set with us this morning as we go through this conversation.
Thank you.
You know, academic achievement is always something we embrace and we aspire to, and so we are thankful for the opportunity to get the information as it relates to this law degree program. You know, we want to talk a little bit first before we get into the program about your role in the Leeds Beckett University and a little history, if as it were, about the university itself.
So the university has been teaching law since 1934, so we've got a rich history of providing law to international students, domestic students, and lots of our alumni are across the world, in the UK, established lawyers, judges, successful careers in the legal field. And Leeds Beckett University offer other courses as well, from the arts to the films to the business, accounts, so that all feeds into the course as well and the diversity of the programs that we offer.
Right. And so now you are here in Tobago, and we're talking about the university and the program that it offers. First and foremost, have you ever been to Tobago before?
No.
So I must give you a nice warm Tobago welcome, and I want to encourage all of viewers online to say a nice warm welcome to Mr. Ian this morning. You know, I do hope that you get to enjoy your stay here. I'm not sure how long it is, but that more than that you are able to achieve your goals in terms of promoting this program as it relates to the Leeds Beckett University. What are some of the unique aspects of the program itself? What makes a law program stand out? Because there are so many law programs across the globe. So what differentiates this particular program above the others?
I would say high impact in terms of, you know, the educational expertise. You're trained by lawyers, qualified lawyers, academics, researchers. So it's high impact, low cost, state-of-the-art facilities, and a personalised touch. You know, personalised touch, which we can communicate virtually, online, and also my presence here, really. You know, I've met the students that we're teaching this year. We have 40, 50 Trinidad and a few Tobago students. So I've been here delivering some workshop sessions. So it's great to meet them in person, you know, converting that online relationship to meeting in person. So it's strengthening connections with the country and students. So it's fantastic.
So you have students already enrolled for the next semester of this program? Yeah,
so we've got current, so this year was really the first year we had a significant intake. So we've got roughly 50 students going through the program at the moment, and we've got students signed up for the program, which starts in September 2025.
Right. And you mentioned something there about cost effective, because that's one thing, especially from this part of the world. We obviously have to do the conversion because the currency is different. And so that is a major impact on our decision as to, are we going to go to an international institution to study? How does it convert in terms of where, you know, the funding and stuff like that, because of the price? So those are some of the things we really do have to consider. And perhaps later on in the conversation, we can talk about the cost as well. You're talking now about strengthening relationships with this part of the world, Trinidad and Tobago, and having a large intake this year. How has it been in terms of your international students? Well, at least those on campus. I know some programs now are virtual because COVID-19 provided that opportunity where people actually access virtual teaching and learning more than in person. But in your history and in your past, how has the integration of international students been at the university in terms of integrating their cultures together and being able to get out of the university what you have as your objectives for them to get, and also for the university to benefit from the different kaleidoscope of cultures that come in there?
Well, Leeds in particular is a very diverse community. We've got a Caribbean community, so that's embedded in Leeds. So it's diverse in culture, irrespective of the university in terms of the local community, and we've had international students for decades coming to our country. In the past, my exposure to Trinidad students has been in person, but I think since COVID, that we've been able to increase that interaction by kind of online provisions. Right.
And how do you in terms of networking for students, because a law degree, you definitely need that type of network to build your profession when you leave this university and you leave with your qualifications. How do you provide the opportunity for networking for the students to ensure they can maximize all the benefits that you provide?
Yeah, well, we encourage that. I mean, there is training in networking and how to set up online profiles. That's always emphasised, and your main networking for student population is yourselves, because in a few years you're going to be in jobs, you're going to progress in terms of your career. So that's always an important consideration. And we offer mentor programs, so students are linked with local practitioners, alumni that have been successful. So again, that's all part and parcel of creating a profile for you. But networking is probably the most important thing in terms of progression. Not just being a good lawyer, but being able to communicate, being able to network, being able to sell yourself.
That's right, right. And what are some of the main areas the curriculum will touch on, will focus on?
Well, the curriculum, we've got a very diverse curriculum, from undergraduate program to postgraduate provisions and LM provisions for more specialised practitioners, so maybe practitioners who want to expand. Our main focus, particularly in Trinidad, is what's known as a legal practice course, so that Trinidad students can qualify and can practice as attorneys here. So that covers all the core modules that you are required to do to satisfy the Trinidad Law Association, so the professional programs that you need to practice.
Right, and I want to talk a little bit about the alumni. If you could, just help us. Sometimes you want to connect with something that already has a history or has a history of success. Can you identify any of your notable alumni that passed through the institution that we can identify with and say, well, okay, maybe I can model in accordance to this person or group of persons?
Yeah, well, we have many alumni in practice and partners in the local area. We have former Supreme Court lawyer, Her Honour Judge Black. So she was from Leeds Beckett, trained with us many years ago. She's now retired, so former Supreme Court judge. We have, in terms of the sports world, Leeds is known, and Leeds Beckett University is known for its sporting excellence. So you might be aware of the Brownlee brothers, Olympic gold medalists. Yes. So they've got very strong connections with Leeds Beckett University. Keely Hodgkinson, the current 1500 metre gold medalist from Leeds University. So we've got richness in sport, business, and legal education.
Diversity.
Yeah, diversity across the programs.
Right. And the most important part for us, especially here in Trinidad and Tobago, the financial options or financial support or any type of financial aid to assist a student to not just to start, but to finish this program. Because many times you might find somebody very interested, they might find the startup money to start the program, and then they might have to follow up because they can't continue. What are some of the things you have in place in terms of financial aid, or even guidance as to where students can find financial aid to assist them to cover the cost?
Yeah, so we liaise with AJ Academic academy here. So they are fantastic in setting up connections with students and providing personalised advice for Trinidad students and Tobago students and those in the Caribbean to link with international organisations such as us. And they've negotiated a very generous bursary, so the costs, particularly for the legal practice course, has been negotiated at a cost of £11,350. You'll have to convert that to Trinidad dollars.
A hefty amount.
It's an expensive amount, but you know, if you're motivated and want to pursue a career as an attorney in Trinidad, then you know that's a good deal. It's a significant reduction, you know, compared to the normal cost of that program. But still, I appreciate it's a financial burden, but it's worth it in the end, you know, if you've got the motivation to complete and be successful in practice.
As they say, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
I suppose. So,
Yeah.
of course, our students will explore all the opportunities for financial assistance if they really want to participate. You know, in every industry and with every, even in academics, there are trends that change. There are upgrades. Things happen. How do you plan to stay ahead of, especially in the legal fraternity, how do you plan to stay ahead and to ensure that Leeds Beckett and this program remains relevant and timeless?
Yeah, so we closely ally with the governing bodies in terms of what is required, and the programme is changing. So, for instance, in the UK now was aligned with Trinidad in terms of the professional qualifications, and now there's a slight difference. So Trinidad students need to be aware of those differences, so need to make sure they're on the correct programme. So the legal practice course for Trinidad students is still relevant. For UK students, it's been replaced by the solicitors qualification exams. So Trinidad students need to get that personalised advice to know which programs to programs to take, and as part of our commitment to education, we're always enhancing and improving our program.
Right. And in terms of, this visit to Tobago, of course, is definitely to bring awareness and also to recruit students to ensure that they understand the program, they know what is available, the qualifications, the network, and all the things we spoke about earlier in the conversation. How long is this session that you're in Tobago? How long are you here for? And are there any future plans to come back to Tobago and, of course, talk more about the university and the programs offered?
Yes, I've been here for a week. So I came last Friday. I wish I could stay longer. So I'm leaving tomorrow. We've run some marketing programs. We've met students. So we've met, I would say, over 100 prospective students who are looking to potentially take the course next year. And then I've met all my current students. So really that's what's made the trip, meeting my current students, making a connection, moving from virtual to face-to-face meetings, and it's been an opportunity for them to network as well, because I hadn't realised, but they're online, and even though they're in Trinidad and Tobago, very few of them have met each other, so it's fantastic for the whole group to get together, get to learn about them on a more personal basis, and for them to hopefully learn a bit more about me on a personal basis as well. So that really strengthens the academic connection. Right.
And how can a person, a student, a prospective student, or somebody listening to this program now, if they are interested for next year or the year after, or whenever, how can they get in contact to indicate their interest? Is it that they wait for the next open house, or how do they contact the university to get more information?
The go-to place is AJ Academic Academy. They can contact Leeds Beckett University as well, but AJ Academic Academy really provide the conduit for connections between ourselves and Trinidad and Tobago and Caribbean students, and they really provide a personalised connection as well. So it's not just a case of here's a student, they follow the trajectory of the student. They're involved on a day-to-day basis. They follow the progression of those students' careers moving forward. So it's not just simply putting those students on a program, but and they've introduced me to alumni that they're still in contact with as well. So they take a holistic approach, and are really genuinely engaged in making sure that students have the best opportunity in terms of academic excellence, and then hopefully progression in the career in Trinidad or elsewhere.
And that provides an opportunity to track your progress as well, to see and to measure your success in terms of your students after they leave. Once you maintain that connection with them, you're able to monitor them and to ensure that, well, they are successful as well, I suppose. So that is a very good approach. And just for clarity, viewers, those of you who might be interested, that's AJAA Academy agency, and you can follow them or you can reach out to them on www.AJAC Academy. Let me get this correct because the print is so fine, but I want to give everybody the opportunity who might be interested in this. It is www.AJ Academic Agency. That's it. www.ajacademicagency.com. You can go there and get some information, and that is your initial link to the Leeds Beckett University, and they will talk you through the process in terms of registration, I suppose.
Registration, funding,
and everything that you need to find out about this program.
Yeah, details of the program.
In terms of admission requirements and all the likes as well. So you can contact them there. I'm so sorry, the print was a little bit fine for me this morning, but it's ajacademicagency.com. AJ Academic, A as in the letter A, the letter J, academicagency.com to get further information. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
No, just thank you for the welcome. People ask me what you enjoyed about Trinidad and Tobago, and it's the people, really.
Yeah. Yes.
The scenery, obviously, and the beach and the warmth compared to the UK, but the people.
Are you spending the rest of the day in Tobago?
I am, yeah.
Oh, there's so many things for you to enjoy, and all of Tobago. If you see Mr. Dufler anywhere, we're going to do our Tobago thing. We are very warm people, and the primary thing about Tobago really is the food. So whoever is your driver, they need to take you where it's happening today. We're so happy to have you here, and we do hope that you get the measure of success you're hoping for, and that our students will continue to benefit from the Leeds Beckett University. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying with us this morning. We've been speaking with Mr. Ian Dufler. He is a senior lecturer at the Leeds Beckett University, and we were talking about the law program this morning. You do want to stay with us as we continue conversations in studio this morning, because up next we have Mr. Daryl Trim. He is up next, this morning, and we also have with him Curtis Griffith. They are coming to speak about the Combat Readiness program. So you want to be a part of that. But before we get into all of that, of course, we have to go for a break. And when we go for a break, what do? Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tobago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tobago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tobago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tobago's at your service.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television, and thank you so much for staying with us. We continue conversations this morning in studio, and we speak with Mr. Daryl Trim. He is the head coach of Soccer Elite Football Club, and Mr. Curtis Griffith, a one-on-one control tactics basic instructor. And this morning we want to talk about something very important. It's called the Combat Readiness Program. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Good morning, good morning.
Right, so I'm so happy to have you in studio with us this morning, especially as we are aware of what is happening in society with young men. So it's good to see two young men in studio collaborating on this effort this morning. So we want to get into it. Coach Trim, your t-shirt says coach, so I'm assuming you are Daryl Trim, right? And so tell us a little bit about yourself and Soccer Elite and the idea behind this collaboration.
Well, my name is Daryl Trim, head coach, founder of Soccer Elite Football Academy. The idea from this program came from seeing, I think, an article in the newspaper where a 16-year-old girl in Trinidad committed suicide because she couldn't handle the pressures of bullying and stuff. So, when I saw that, I think the next day I contacted Mr. Griffith, who I know is a combat instructor that deals with self-defense. So we would have discussed in detail our outline program as to how we could combat bullying and help children really equip themselves against bullies and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Is there a particular age group that you're targeting, or is it members of your club?
It's open to members outside the club and also open to members of the club. We want to integrate also into the program women's self-defense, to fight off sexual predators, and also, bullying amongst women and stuff is also a thing that is plaguing society. So those are some things that will be integrated into the program as well.
All right, Mr. Griffith, how long have you been a one-on-one combat readiness coach, instructor?
I have been involved in martial arts for at least 30 years. The Combat Readiness Program has been in existence for the last 45 years. Mm-hmm. Grandmaster Boudram created the program in 1980. At that time, he would have been the self-defense instructor for the Defense Force. He would have taught their recruits. The program was went across to traditional martial arts in 1987, and the program has grown. I became one of his instructors last year, and I hold a 3rd degree black belt in martial arts. So under his instruction, he has a 9th degree black belt. The program is based in Trinidad. I am the Tobago-based instructor for the program. So under his guidance, him and the team will be coming across to Tobago. We have a workshop carded from the 7th to the 9th of March, where a proper foundation will be laid, and it's under his guidance of the program.
And have you engaged in terms of training young children in this program before this collaboration with Mr. Trim?
Yes. So in addition to being an instructor with the program, I have also been teaching self-defense. So my original school program, Martial Arts Academy, we have a kids program on a Saturday that I teach there. I am also a personal trainer, so we do training outside of just self-defense, because this program, it takes into account tactical fitness and situational awareness. So the children wouldn't just learn self-defense, they would learn how to be aware of a situation. They would learn how to run away, use the voice. Self-defense is the last resort. So a lot of fitness goes into the program as well.
And I was going to ask as well, what are some of the components of the program? And you mentioned some of it in terms of using your voice. So tell us the importance of using those aspects before you get to self-defense, because you just said that self-defense is the last resort. What is the importance, and what are the steps in terms of, okay, first resort, second resort, and then I go to self-defense?
Right, so we would have done a program with the kids on Tuesday to introduce them to the program, and they would have been taught distance. How close can someone get to you before they invade in your personal space? So we'd have given them guidelines. If it is someone can reach out and they can touch you, they are too close to you, you raise your voice, you tell the person, stay away from me. And the reason for raising your voice is because you want to sound an alarm so the people around you can know that something is happening, you're not feeling safe. And they were taught to turn and run away. Run to help, run to a police officer, run to an adult, run to somebody that you trust. So raising your voice is very important. They also learn basic self-defense skills that if needed, they know how to de-escalate a situation and get away. The importance is always learning how to get away from the attacker.
Well, this song's so very engaging in terms of telling a young person how to de-escalate a situation. Even adults have challenges sometimes in how to de-escalate situations. So, it will be very interesting for me to see how the program rolls out in terms of getting them to adhere to this is what you do. And, sometimes when you are in an environment like that, let's say you come to a class, so you learn a skill, you practice the skill while you're there, but implementing it in your actual day-to-day life becomes a challenge. How do you transition from being in a classroom setting into real life application?
Right, so what makes this program unique is that it is based on high stress situations. So you wouldn't just go into a class and learn a technique. You are placed under a high stress situation, so that if it is you are in that situation in a real life scenario, you know how to handle it. So we put the children under a lot of high stress situations, the children and the adults. Mr. Trim would have explained that the program is open from children from 6 to 11 years old. We have from 12 to 18 years old, and we have an adults program. The program has a wide variety of aspects. We do women's self-defense, we do Krav Maga, we do military tactics, and the program is open to people of all skill levels, whether you be a beginner or you be advanced. The program is scalable to your level, and you can be taught different techniques that you would not have been exposed to before.
All right, so Coach, tell me when this program is going to begin, how long it is running for. Is there a cost attached to it as well?
Okay, so we have an introductory to the program that we run from the 7th of March to the 9th, which is a weekend. It's a Friday, it's a Sunday. So the children will be taught in class techniques, and also actual live interactions. So after that, we will establish as to what days the program will actually be running for. So the program will be carded for 1 day a week for a period of 90 minutes. The course is $300 per person per month. And we hope that parents will really invest and really bring their children up, because in reality we cannot protect our children all the time. We cannot be there to protect them all the time. So we must give them the tools to be ready to, in case of a situation, they know how to defend themselves and stay alive, because it's a real thing that is plaguing society, bullying, and we see so much videos of children ganging up and beating up this one, and it's kind of painful to see, as a parent, that you will see a group of children hounding a child and beating on them. So we really need to teach children how to defend themselves against these bullies.
And the rollout that starts on the weekend in March from the 7th to the 9th, is there a fee for that, or is it how is that working?
No, well, basically the persons that would have registered, that would have paid, would be invited to come to the introductory training to the program.
Also, these persons who have already registered?
Yeah, already registered.
Okay, all right. And this is taking place where?
At the Color Hall Recreational Ground.
All right. Looking forward to great things happening there. And you were talking about trying to equip children how to defend themselves, because their parents won't always be there, because they hear people bully them physically as well as verbally. They get the kind of verbal bullying as well. This particular combat is for physical abuse, like physical bullying only. I see instructor shaking his head and saying no. So tell me, how does the child or the person who you are training now convert the physical aspect to deal with the verbal bullying? How does it work?
Right, so the program teaches de-escalation and how to be aware of a situation and identify risks. So the child or the adult would learn, okay, this situation is escalating, I need to get away from here. So it's not just physical abuse, right? You also learn how to deal with that emotion. That is why we place them in high stress situations. So the children would learn, okay, this person is getting too close to me, I need to sound an alarm and I need to get away from here. Yes? Then learn to go to a teacher, go to an adult, go to a parent first. If the person places their hands on them and they have no choice, they would learn basic self-defense to get away from that situation.
Right. So now that's where the steps come in now. You make an alarm, de-escalate, and then
yes.
Got you. So I feel as if this program is a well thought out program, and I do hope that parents, you will take advantage of the opportunity to ensure that your child is enrolled, if not in this program, some type of program that will allow them to identify challenging situations, and that they are able to to handle themselves when they are in those situations, whether it's at school, whether they're in some kind of club, wherever they are. Bullies are around and they want to be able to stand on their own 2 feet. If somebody wants to register for the program that will come later on, how do they contact you to register and to be a part of the program?
To register, you could go to the Soccer Elite Football Academy page on Facebook. There's a post, and at the end of the post, there's a registration link. So the program will run for a period of 12 months with different phases that Mr. Griffith and Major Bertram and his team will be teaching the children. So every phase, I think every phase is a period of 3 months. So every phase you'll learn a different fighting technique. So let me say in the first 3 months you might learn Jiu-Jitsu. The next 3 months you might learn Krav Maga. The next 3 months you might learn a different
you sound like you went through this program before.
Martial arts style. So it was a well thought out program. So it's a detailed program. It's not just something that just come together and we're just doing it. It's something that is well thought out, well detailed, well planned, and it will be well executed as well.
Of course, I wish you the very best, and I do hope that parents, as I mentioned before, will come out and participate in this. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
You can also visit the website becombatready.com, and you will get a lot more information about the program, the founder, and any other questions you would have. You could also contact Mr. Trim. You could contact me directly, 476-0397. And we'd be happy to answer any questions that you would have.
All right, thank you guys so much. It's so amazing to see young men, filling in that gap there and ensuring they provide a space that young people can feel safe and that they can get the skills they are looking for to ensure that they can protect the spaces that they occupy. So, parents, send your children out, or you too can be a part of it. As instructor said, you can check the website to get more details on the program there so you understand exactly what you are getting yourself into. But I think it's something quite good. Coming up next, we have Assemblyman Natisha Charles-Pantin. Natisha Charles-Pantin is coming up next right after the break, so you want to stay with us this morning. And also Ricardo Alfred, he's also the chairman of TADCO. They are up next and you want to be a part of that conversation. But before we start talking to them, we have to go for a break. What do we do when we go to a break? We share the live. Share the live. Share the live. We'll be right back.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Spring. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the morning show here on Tobago Updates Television. We're just at 7:48 a.m. So if you're getting yourself to work for 8 and the children off to school, you want to drive safely on our nation's roads this morning because we want you to get there safely. All right, we continue conversations this morning in studio and we're so happy that you've stayed with us. We move on to speaking with Assemblyman Natisha Charles Panton, Secretary of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development, and also Mr. Ricardo Alfred, the Chairman of TADCO. This morning we're speaking about the open day on the capital of paradise. Isn't that exciting? Good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning. Good morning.
Of course, a pleasure to have you guys here this morning with us. And as the topic says, it's open day on the capital of paradise, back up and running and ready for business. So tell us about, for those of you who don't know about the capital of paradise, let's tell you a little bit about what the capital of paradise is, although you should know. So let's start there, should we?
Right. So the good morning to all. The capital of paradise is, as some would know, is a long-line fishing vessel owned and operated through the Tobago Agribusiness Development Company. This vessel is one of the larger vessels in Trinidad and Tobago, and which is purposed to generate some sort of revenue via the fish. Our target species is the yellowfin tuna, which is used for export and definitely getting some nice forex exchange here. Since 2022, we have been doing annually the open day where persons of the public can get to see the vessel. It's all about a transparent process. They could see the vessel, interview the crew, maybe get some young persons who are interested in that type of career, and they get to view this vessel from right down to the engine room as well as the cabins where the crew stay. A very surprising and very good comment right now is that the vessel, this is the first dry dock that they would have done successfully under this administration. Went into dry dock on the 13th of January and came back out on the 22nd, which was very excellent. Everything was on point. We had a scope of work done. The vessel traveled to Grenada, which under the procurement was the cheapest at the time and very good. They have the largest crane in the Caribbean right now, which was able to lift the vessel out of the water. The crew, I must commend the crew. They were very instrumental in doing a lot of the works there in terms of removing things like barnacles, doing some fiberglass work, a few repairs to the engines and generators, and painting the hull as well. The vessel is back in our waters and it will be here for the public again to see. Again, they are invited to some of the, it's going to have some fish broth as well for the public, as well as some tuna tail soup, where they can again meet and greet the crew and get their experience. I mean, this is all about people understanding where their asset is. It's not my vessel, it's their vessel at the end of the day, so they can get that, and then after that the vessel will proceed on its first trip for the year.
The vessel, you gave us the dates when the vessel went on dry dock from the 13th to the 22nd. That's like about 10 days thereabouts. Yes. And it's the first time that I'm hearing that a vessel is on dry dock for only about 10 days.
Right.
Because usually when you hear a vessel goes on dry dock, sometimes you hold your head, it's like, oh gosh, when is it going to come back? Because we've had those experiences before with the larger vessels, the ferry and stuff like that. But in terms of the repairs or the upgrades that were done to the vessel, are you satisfied that yes, we're ready to be back in operation again and to meet our objectives?
I would say very fortunate that the company have someone in a very capable position who can speak on that manner, meaning that, so by profession, I am a marine engineer. I'm also a maritime surveyor, in which I also do a lot of audit, and I'm also an auditor as well. So the scope of work was well done. It was well prepared well in advance. So we know exactly what we were going to do from the beginning. And yes, dry docks do have some unfortunate events. However, it's all about how you manage it. We work strictly with the budget provided, just about $360,000, which was quite good, given the amount of work that needed to be done. And it was well managed, and I'm quite pleased where we are. So it's all about the management part of it and managing the finances, which resulted in us spending only 10 days there.
Well, that is absolutely amazing. So here we are now, open day, and we're talking about Secretary. I heard Mr. Alfred talking about fish broth and soup and all kind of thing happening on the ship, right? So tell us a little bit about what else persons can expect when they come on the vessel for the open day.
Well, I can tell you that I have attended every open day, and what usually happens, you're greeted by the crew, the captain and the crew, and they do a walkthrough so that you understand the vessel, how it is operated, the length of time out at sea. They talk about their experiences. It's very interactive, and of course, yeah, they treat you. They give you a nice treat of a fish broth or a fish soup. So it's really a kind, jovial experience. Yeah, and of course, if you are interested in being trained, or you're interested in your children being trained on how to become, to operate a vessel, that option is also discussed on board the Capital of Paradise One. Yes, so.
All right. And when is the open day, and how long is it going to be allowed for the public to be on?
So the vessel will be here later on tonight. So tomorrow morning, we would want to have persons open to the public, let's say around between 9 and 10, till about maybe 2, 3 in the evening. I mean, you would have persons who may come afterwards, and if needs be, we definitely want to assist them. But the aim of this really is to get persons to move away from that type of pirogue fishing. Keep in mind that the Capital of Paradise is a refrigerated vessel, which allows the fish to be stored at the appropriate temperature, which can then be exported. The vessel meets all of the international standards and the HACCP standards, meaning that everything must be of a certain type, a certain criteria in order for you to export. So it's to get persons or investment as well for further vessels like that. I believe where the company is right now, we have a lot of interest from other parties who would want us to manage their fleet based on the work that we would have been doing so far. And the intention is to grow that capacity and to get as much experience among the Tobagonians and get them to move away from the pirogue type fishing. It is no longer viable as relates to creating a sustainable fishing industry.
I want to agree with you, but I have a question. I always like to challenge theories to ensure that I understand exactly the objectives. And when you say move away from pirogue fishing, is it because you are trying to focus on the export aspect of it? What about domestic fishing? Is the pirogue type fishing suitable, or will still remain relevant for domestic sales?
So we have to look at the industry, and we have to look at what can grow the industry. You have a vessel that can go there between 15 to 25 days, which has a larger catch. At the end of the day, you're looking at sustainability, and you're looking at the consistency. And most importantly, that HACCP standard as relates to consumption of food. You must meet these requirements internationally. Very soon, you're going to have some very stringent laws coming as relates to what you consume. A pirogue is limited in how much fish it could carry. It is limited in how long it could stay out there as well. There are no bathroom facilities out there. There are no cold storage facilities out there. There's a whole range of sort of stuff that I can go into. But however, what I would say is that the way forward is the mother type vessels that can hold more and stay out longer.
And I suppose that's why you mentioned earlier in the conversation about investments to get another vessel, perhaps as many as possible as we can get, in our space here, to ensure that, as many persons can benefit from it as possible. Which, now that the understanding is there, I'm leaning towards that now. I understand better now. Secretary, you want to say something?
Well, what I want to say, in listening to Mr. Alfred, pirogue fishing, yes, it's traditional, and people are accustomed to, you just go out there with your boat, you bring it in, you buy the fish. But really and truly, we don't think how a fish is being prepared before it gets to us. And we talk about international standards, but we should have standards as well for ourselves because we are consuming the food as well. So when we talk about adhering to international standards, yes, for export, but we must have standards, yeah? So that is why he's encouraging to move that step further, to have proper facilities, bathroom facilities, being able to kill the fish, put it on, drain the blood and put it on ice, then bring it, because that's a proper thing to do. Right? And sometimes engaging in traditional practices, you don't really think about how can it affect the food that I consume, because what goes into you would further down affect you if you don't think about the consequences, the process and then the consequences. And that is why we are trying our best with the little funding that we have to fix these fish facilities so that when you go to purchase fish, you buy it, from a good establishment and not just cutting it up on wood. Yeah. So it's an effort to fix the industry, to ensure that our citizens are healthy and to adhere to international standards.
Absolutely amazing. And of course, the open day for the capital of Paradise is tomorrow morning. Now between 9 and 10 you can make your way there. If you've never been on the vessel before, even if you don't consider yourself or even interested in becoming a fisherman, I think it's a good experience for the average Tobagonian to step on board the vessel and see what what it looks like, what the operations look like. I myself might take a visit there. I don't intend to be a fisherman, but I think the experience will be a good one, for me to see and to kind of relate to what is happening there on the vessel as well. It is absolutely free of charge. You don't have to pay to get on the vessel. You just go there, get your fish broth, your fish soup, walk around, ask as many questions as possible. In fact, when you get on the vessel, you might see something you never thought about, and you might ask a question and get the education where that is concerned. And of course, we are happy that the vessel is back and ready for business. And, in closing, is there any additional information you want to share with the public?
Well, I would like to say that TADCO, they're doing an extraordinary job. The board, the management, the staff. And TADCO can offer services in terms of management. So if you want to own your own vessel, right, they can, at a cost, right, assist you with management. And, a lot of times people want the government to make the investment, but you would too, because if it is a lucrative industry and you have a body that could assist you with the management, then it sort of confirms success. Yeah, so I think it's an opportunity. Reach out to Republic Bank; they have provisions for the industry, right? Agricola, they have been marketing themselves exceptionally, well, right? And of course, you have venture capital. So you have a lot of options for financing. And the fishermen have been qualifying for a lot of the loans as opposed to farmers. Interesting, yeah, because their industry is pretty lucrative, yeah. So they have been qualifying. So I'm encouraging persons. Because I know a lot of people don't like to work together, yeah. But as an individual, or if you believe that you have a solid team, right, come together and make the investment.
Absolutely. And Mr. Alfred,
what I would just want to recognize is the staff. I am quite pleased now with the staff, not just the staff on the capital of Paradise, but the staff at TADCO. As persons may know, the staff is very instrumental in painting of the compound, therefore, and doing a lot of work that generally would have gone out to contractors, therefore saving the company a lot of money. And it's good to know that where we are now in TADCO is that we are no longer in the red. We definitely have a very good account, very good US account, and we are therefore able to assist the suppliers on time, and I'm quite pleased that our capital expenditure have therefore reduced. And we have not really asked the assembly for money to do this work on the capital of Paradise. It's done strictly by the income that we would have received. And I'm very grateful to the staff. So I must commend them on what they have been doing so far.
All right, absolutely. Congratulations. There are people on the live are asking, where is the vessel? Where are they going tomorrow to board from? So
it will be at the Scarborough Fish Facility, where the Coast Guard, well, some people know it as the Coast Guard jetty, but Scarborough Fish
But the Scarborough Fish Facility, as he said, Coast Guard jetty, every open day is usually there. So I know on the flyer, it's on small print at the bottom of the flyer. It should have been on big print, so you're right. But yes, it will be there tomorrow.
Right. So ladies and gentlemen, you're free to head on down there and have the experience of a lifetime. And if nothing else, at least you get some fish broth. Right. So ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking with Assemblyman Natisha Charles Panton and the chairman of TADCO, Mr. Ricardo Alfred. Capital of Paradise open day tomorrow from between 9 and 10 up until about 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. Get on board the vessel, see what is taking place there, get to understand the operations, and also ask a question as to how you might be able to benefit if you want to become a fisherman or you're interested in the fishing industry in any form or fashion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we have to end the morning show, but it's not where we end our programming. We head on over to GMT, which is Good Morning Tobago, and as we go, we invite you to help us share the live, share the live, share the live.
Good morning, and welcome to Tobago Updates, viewers. Now, you know it's Good Morning Tobago right here at the studio, and yes, we are happy to see you. To our Tobago Updates family, it's so good to see you. It's so good to have you. Come on down and have a seat. Now, for those of you new to the Tobago space, new to the Updates family, you don't know my face from a place, my name is Luke James Shrim, and I'm proud to be your host for this morning's series. Now, yes, we are continuing the Beneath the Surface series, but before we get into that, here is your news in 90 seconds. At the sod-turning ceremony for Wassa's Goldsboro Water Treatment Plant, THA Deputy Chief Secretary Dr. Faith Brebner criticized the government over Tobago's water issues and THA's exclusion from key events. Cabinet members included Ayanna Webster-Roy, Penelope Beckles, and Marvin Gonzalez strongly defended the central government's efforts, dismissing Brebner's concern as political. Gonzalez denied excluding the THA and highlighted past unacknowledged invitations. He emphasized the $77 million already invested in Tobago's water supply, with plans to increase it to $181 million. The Trump administration revoked a directive halting federal assistance programs, but a freeze on foreign aid remains. A federal judge temporarily stayed the order following an emergency hearing. CARICOM leaders will discuss the issue at their Barbados meeting. NGOs like Living Water Community brace for impacts on refugee aid. Government officials in Trinidad and Tobago will monitor developments, while experts warn regional crime initiatives may suffer. The U.S. defends its right to adjust aid policies, with concerns over halted U.S. aid-funded programs targeted gang violence in the Caribbean. Congratulations to the RBC Redemption Song Settlers Youth Academy, the sole junior band from Tobago in 2025 National Junior Panorama Competition. Their outstanding performance has earned them a spot in the finals at the Queen's Park Savannah on Sunday, 2nd February, where they will perform in position number 3. And viewers, that was your news in 90 seconds. Now, most of you have been with us from week 1. We are currently in week 3 and the second to last day of the Beneath the Surface series. And yes, viewers, the news in 90 seconds probably gave some Easter eggs into who I would be interviewing this morning. And yes, joining us on set this morning is none other than Secretary Dr. Faith Brebner. Dr. Faith, good morning, and how are you doing?
Good morning. Thanks for having me this morning. I'm doing pretty well this morning.
Okay, nice. Well, Dr. Faith, I think you can tell by now we have much to discuss. But before we get into that, I want to touch on your political journey. What inspired you to get into politics? Because, you know, being in high schools, most of people in my age group will remember you as a lady who swam to Trinidad with Mr. Watson's Uke. And, you know, I really want to know what was the inspiration for you to really get into that level of advocacy.
Certainly. And I wouldn't say I swam. I was on the boat. I still can't swim. Almost gave my mother a heart attack that day, as a matter of fact. So, in 2007, I came back to Tobago having completed my my studies, bachelor's, master's, doctoral degrees. And I came back to Tobago and I started working in the Tobago House of Assembly. I was working with the Secretary for Health at that time, really providing technical advice at that time. And then I realized in many instances that we would give sound advice on the technical side, and then these people, these politicians would go into this room that they call exec council, and then different decisions would be made in that room called exec council. And I had to ask myself, okay, that seems to be where the power is. That seems to be where the decisions are made. That seems to be where, you know, the final thing is done. So maybe we need to figure out how to get into that room. So that was back then. I had not, you know, you're just thinking about it, you're reminiscing, you're doing what you have to do. And then in 2016, I did get a call from Mr. Duke. By the way, we went to school together in Roxborough and so forth, so I knew him from before. I got a call, and if you listen to his version of the story, I turned him down multiple times because he tried to get me into the political sphere multiple times. But I remember going to one of the meetings that they had in Roxborough, and one of the individuals, one of the first candidates that was announced was Miss Melanie Roberts at that time. Yes. And I listened to her and I thought, yeah, I think this is the time. Okay, nice. This is an opportunity for me to jump onto this. It is something that I've been thinking about before. And I do not mind being a part of this team because this team seems to have the same philosophy that I have in terms of loving Tobago and doing what we need to do to make Tobago a better place. So at that time I said, okay, let me join the team. And then I was actually the third candidate to be announced following that. Nice. Took a while after following that, and I've been on the journey since then.
Okay, great. And, you know, just from your response, we can get that you have been in the health sector for a while, whether it's in power or out of power. But now that you are the Secretary for Health and you now somewhat have the power and the influence to really be the difference you would like to see within our health sector, what are some of the changes you have made thus far, and how challenging was that transitioning from the person on the outskirts to now the person who can call the shots?
Well, it's a big difference. So, and by the way, the division is health, wellness, and social protection. So it is 3 huge areas. In other ministries in Trinidad, this is 3 different ministries here. So we're talking about social protection, which is the social network. We're talking about health, which is really the oversight of the TRHA and what the TRHA does. And we are talking about wellness, which in essence is what the public health department does. So I have responsibility for all 3 of those. It's always easy to sit on the outside and cuss people and tell them what they couldn't do and what they ain't doing and what they're doing wrong and blah, blah, blah. Yes. And then you get into the seat and then you realize there are all of these moving parts. There are all of these people who need to do their job. There's only only so much you can do as an individual. After you give the approval, it then needs to go to an administrator who may or may not agree. It may or may not move from his or her desk. It then needs to go to another officer, another officer, another officer. And a month later, and let me give you an example, a month later, we are wondering why a key was not cut for something that in my mind should have taken 5 minutes. My aim, though, has been to work towards fixing systems. And when we fix the system, I would recognize that there are shifts that have been made positively when I start getting less calls. Because people would call you to intervene when something is not working. And that happens in all sectors. The social protection, I applied for a grant. It's a year later, I ain't get a grant. My garbage didn't pick up because the garbage truck can come. Or in the hospital so long, I'm waiting for my CT scan results. Those are the calls that I get, and I'm beginning to monitor the reduction in those calls. So that is how we know. So you may not notice it on your side, but I notice it when I recognize that instead of getting 20 calls, I'm now getting 15. So what have we done? We've done quite a bit. On this side of social protection, we sat and we worked through the processes that we used to do a lot of it. We did some restructuring of the social protection department, and I actually brought in recently some technical people to lead that process, because we recognize that there were a lot of people who were there who love what they do, and they do what they do well, but we needed some guidance at the top. So we brought in we did some restructuring there, changed some of the policies and that kind of stuff. As it relates to public health, we worked through getting some of the HR needs. We're still working through some of that because we need more, for example, public health inspectors to go out and do the food inspections and that kind of thing. Working through the daily rated cadre to ensure that we actually have people on the ground so that they can clean the drains. Something as simple as that. As relates to the health side of it, the TRHA, well, we've been working with the TRHA, working with the board of the TRHA to ensure that we get the diagnostic tools, for example. So we have the CTs coming in, and we have the ambulances coming in, and those types of things to ensure that we provide a better service in the healthcare system. So those are just some of the areas that I think we've been able to implement, and therefore the people on the ground should see slight shifts in how this is, in how they receive the services that we offer.
Understood, Dr. Faith. And being a politician now, and it's still something new. You are now the one who's influencing a lot of policies. And I know there are times, because while people may not understand, while you are a politician, you are still a human being. There may be the moments where you are filled with doubt, and you probably question yourself, am I even the right one for this position, for this job? Have you ever had that sort of encounter, and how did you overcome that doubt?
So I very frequent, well, let me not say frequently. I'm an introvert. When people hear me speak, when people see me in public spaces, it's hard for them to believe that I'm an introvert. It means that having to be around a lot of people and so forth, that is not naturally my nature. That part of it, therefore, takes quite a lot out of me. And in moments when that part takes a lot out of me, I usually say, what was this? Why did I decide to do this? But usually, I would say 98% of the time, I am thinking to myself, I love this, I am here for this moment, I've been given the skills, I've been given the technical capacity, because I actually did, my degrees, and I have the experience for the things that I am talking about. So you're supposed to be here. But every now and then I get, oh gosh, I'm so tired of this. Oh gosh, why I had to get up this hour to come on TV this morning. I'm not a morning person, by the way.
Okay, and Dr. Faith, going more into the technical side of this interview, we understand that the discussion of Tobago's autonomy has highlighted some key issues where the island's governance is concerned, especially where finances and resources are concerned. And we know that our health sector is very important, and now you are responsible for that. What are some of the challenges you have faced, due to this lack of autonomy, and how were you able to navigate them as Secretary for Health, Wellness and Social Protection?
Certainly. So this issue with autonomy is one that people don't recognize
influences us daily. The part that treats with the money is one part. Coincidentally, my division is one that gets the largest or the second largest chunk of the budget. But that is because, and most people don't recognize, the recurrent expenditure, all of the expenditure that goes to the Tobago Regional Health Authority, so the hospitals and the health centers, it comes out of health, the Division of Health's allocation. So even though the money seems big, it is because we still have to give $40-something million every single month to the TRHA so that the doctors get paid, so that the hospital lights stay on and that kind of thing. So we are always crunched for cash. The large recurrent budget, as I said, if you're giving one organization $40-something million every month, that eats up very quickly, and that leaves very little to do everything else that we need to do. So there is that part of it. The other side of it, though, treats with the policies and how we function on the island. And I will give an example. Social protection. So we are the Department of Social Protection, where we provide grants that are offered by the Tobago House of Assembly. In the building, though, and our staff detail includes employees of the Tobago House of Assembly who implement policies that are the policies of the Ministry of Social Welfare or Social Development. Yeah? What are those policies? The disability grants, for example, the old age pension, those types of, those types of policies, those types of grants are administered. So you would have a situation where somebody comes into the building, for example, they do not qualify for a ministry grant because the process of qualifying is so rigid. And then you hear that fate and give them the grant. Or you hear that fate take away the disability. Or you hear that fate take away the food card. When in fact, it is not necessarily a THA policy. And as a matter of fact, because we've begun understanding that, we have actually shifted some of our requirements in the Tobago House of Assembly so that we can capture some of those people who the ministry's policies have kicked out of the system. And let me give you another example of that. At the beginning of our tenure, in late 2021, early 2022, there was a new policy in the ministry where if you were a recipient of any grant in addition to a recipient of a food card, that they were taking away the food card. So if you were if you had a disability grant and you had a food card, they would take away the food card and keep you on the disability grant. Coincidentally, that happened just as I became Secretary for Health, Wellness and Social Protection. What was the talk on the ground? Fate take away the food card. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that is not a policy that I had anything to do with. It's not a policy that I can influence. It's just a national policy. When we look back at some of our public health, for example, rules and laws and so forth, it's a little bit more difficult for us to implement fees, for example. So in Trinidad, the municipalities, Arima and Port of Spain and so forth, they can decide tomorrow morning that they want to charge a fee because you are a resident and you're not cutting your grass. It is a little bit more difficult for us in Tobago, in the Tobago House of Assembly, to just get up one morning and decide that we want to charge that fee because of how the municipalities work, how their laws work, how their ability to make rules and to make laws work given the Municipality Act and so forth, while the Tobago House of Assembly Act does not give us that same leeway or that same authority. So they could make a law in Trinidad for something as simple as that, while we can, because it is seen as adding a new tax, it is seen as creating a new law, and in the Tobago House of Assembly, we don't have the authority to do that and send it straight to the President for assenting. If we do that, it has to go to Cabinet, it then has to go to Parliament, they have to debate it, they have to decide, and then. So we're seeing the difference there.
Understood. And Dr. Faith, you articulated the relationship between your division and the Ministry of Health. You also touched on the relationship between the Assembly Legislature and central government, well, Cabinet, and now I really need to ask you about the relationship between, yourself and some of the ministers we'd have seen yesterday, because I think yesterday was supposed to be a turning ceremony, and usually these ceremonies are very empowering, very visionary, very hopeful. However, we would have observed somewhat of a tussle between yourself and the MPs, Miss Ayanna Webster-Roy, Mr. Marvin Gonzalez, and what happened? Like, walk us through what happened yesterday.
Oh, I did not think there was a tussle. Well, so I started by giving welcoming remarks because when you look at the hierarchy of the protocol list, I was asked to speak. I was only asked to speak because the chief secretary was supposed to speak and he could not make it. So he asked me to step in as deputy chief secretary. So that's why I was there. What I did was, if you listen, and I posted my entire presentation late last night, if you looked at it, I actually said that I was really welcoming of what was happening. I was really welcoming of the fact that we were at this juncture. But I needed to put it into perspective because I am an area representative, because I am a figure that everyone knows, because, for example, my telephone number is on Facebook and every dog and cat have it. People call me, people message me, people complain to me. So even though, for example, $13 million was spent on a water treatment mechanism for farmers in the same area, literally a stone throw away. The farmers in that area still call and still quarrel saying they don't have water. Even though all of the projects that were done on the western end, and we are hearing about all of the millions of dollars of those projects down on the western end, even in the east as well, I still get the calls from up James Street where a booster should have been to get water. I still get the calls from people from Plymouth. I still get the calls from people from Canaan saying that it's been so many days since they've had water. What I did yesterday was simply highlight those facts. I simply said that, yes, I am happy that we are doing this. Yes, I am happy that we are collaborating to get it done. But we need to ensure that after we spend all of this money, after we do all of the fanfaring, that the product finally gets to the people who need it. I also needed to highlight a fact, which was that the Tobago House of Assembly sees itself as a true partner in this project because the property where this facility is being built is a THA quote-unquote property, and we had to vest that property into WASA for them to have the authority to access the IDB funding to do the project. I said it yesterday, it is probably the quickest I have seen a document go through the public service, because public servants just take the time sometimes with things. They just take the time. Within a week or 2 weeks, the document vesting that property from the Tobago House of Assembly into WASA was created from the Tobago House of Assembly because the Chief Secretary mandated that we are going to do everything that we needed to do to make sure that this project goes on, because we are the ones who get the calls when our residents don't have water. And that is what I said. Those are the things that I said. I was kind of surprised by the responses because everything that I said was accurate. And if you listened to my tone, I did not say it in a combative way or anything like that. I was just saying that in the middle of all of this fanfare, let us be conscious of the fact that these are facts and we need to know what they are so that we don't repeat the mistakes of before.
Understood. But Dr. Faith, some people are perceiving you highlighting those certain facts as you using the ceremony as a political platform. Some are probably saying that, okay, she's probably going off for Tobago East and this is a perfect moment for her to launch that. What are your responses to those perceptions?
If you know me, you know that I say what is on my mind. I do not necessarily, I am learning to have a filter. I am learning to be a little bit less stingy with my tongue. But this was not me trying to launch any platform. I am already the Deputy Chief Secretary. I'm already the area representative for Belgana, Glamorgan. And I have no intentions of being a Tobago East or West candidate.
I think that answers my second question.
It is not even a thought, to be honest, because I am really, really interested in ensuring that the work that I started at the divisional level, the work that I started with with public health, with social protection, with the TRHA, that I want to see that to fruition. I want to see that get to a point where it can sail on its own. So I personally don't have an interest in being the Tobago East or West candidate. Of course, the party is going through its process of determining who those candidates are. And if push comes to shove and I am the one who has to contest, we do what we must. But by no means did I didn't even think that could be a thought, though. I was just really excited about the possibility of what could happen, what could come out of that project. And I spoke my truth. And I wouldn't even say I spoke my truth. I spoke the people's truth. Because even this morning, I'm getting messages from people saying, yeah, Dr. Faith, we do have water this morning.
So what is the real issue? Because the media is painting your articulation yesterday as you are basically saying that WASA is not serving Tobago well. But you would have highlighted, yes, there are some efforts being made, but there are still areas that still need some sort of intervention. So what would you like to see coming out from this whole debacle?
So I think the media is doing what the media does. I am not great at headlines, and those in the media are great at headlines. I would have never come up with no faith in WASA. But when I saw it this morning, I thought, that was really good. I mean, that is not quite what I said, but I could see why that would be a headline, because that is going to cause people to pick up the newspaper and read it. What I am hoping comes out of it, though, is that all of the parties truly look at what we're doing. Because if you are telling me that you have spent almost $200 million in Tobago on fixing Tobago's water issues, and I am still getting all of those calls, something is wrong. Something is wrong, and it means your model probably needs to change. Or maybe our baseline was so low that we are now just getting to a little bit better, and we don't even recognize that that is what is happening. But we need to probably temper our exuberance in terms of saying this is how much we've spent, because the people on the ground don't feel like that is how much you spent to ensure that we provide water to the public. And I also want us to juxtapose, because I was actually very surprised when the minister spoke about the $160 or $80 million spent in Tobago, when in fact the entire Tobago House of Assembly, our development budget is $200 million. 200 million. You spend 100 and something, almost the same 200 million dealing with water issues. And I want the Tobago people to recognize that you see the difference. One ministry in one little region has spent, as they claim, 180 or how much million dollars. The whole Tobago House of Assembly, all away, every division, all away, have to figure out how we're spending $200 million to fix all of the things that have not been fixed. So I want Tobagonians to recognize the limitations that we are also working within the Tobago House of Assembly, and therefore allow us to do this thing in a way that would allow us to really get results, which takes time and it takes effort.
Understood. And Dr. Faith, before we continue this morning's conversation, we're going to take a quick break. So viewers, stick with us. Just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live, and we'll be right back.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
rotisserie, mouth-watering fries, salads, combos, and specials galore. Feeling for something to eat? Come and see. Our rotisserie is seasoned to the T. Kicking chicken, masala, and jerk roast. Crispy fries made from scratch. Who do you know can't beat that? Or salads freshly cut and packed. When you taste it, you'll be wanting to come back. So come check us out on number 2 Robinson Street, Uptown Scarborough, Tobago. We open on Saturday nights from 7:30 to 11:30 p.m. Monday to Thursday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. and on Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us at 772-7443 and all social media handles at The Rotisserie Factory.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago viewers, and thank you for sticking with us. And yes, we are continuing the Beneath the Surface series, and we are currently chatting with Dr. Faith Brebner. Now, Dr. Faith, before we ease into the conversations where all things elections are concerned, you are the area representative for
Belgan Glamorgan.
Lovely. It's not like I forgot or anything. And I really want to know how life was for you growing up in that area. Tell me about Little Faith.
Okay. Little Faith went to school in Belgarden. My mother was a preschool teacher for as long as I could remember. I actually think I went to school early, probably 2.
Oh.
Because
you were gifted, or because your mom was a teacher?
Because my mom was a teacher.
Okay.
Because my mom was a teacher, so I went to school pretty early. Went to Belgarden Anglican, and then went to Roxborough Secondary. Roxborough was a really pivotal time for me because I enjoyed so much of what Roxborough had to offer. I was a cadet at Roxborough. I played pan. That's why I picked up my love for pan. Happened at Roxborough, and I really I think being there allowed me to be a relatively well-rounded person. But because I am an only child, I am my mother's only child, I am also used to my solitude. I'm used to being by myself. You know, there were only a couple neighbors that I was allowed to go to the home. I think my mother was just protecting me so much back then. So it really is it was really nice being able to grow up in that kind of community and to experience Roxborough Sec. Following that, I went to Compre for sixth form. So I did sixth form because we didn't have a sixth form in Roxborough at the time. And then I went off to the university after that. I think though that, especially that period where I enjoyed those extracurricular activities. The cadets was really, really great. The PAN, learning. I also then played with Eastside back then.
Okay.
So I did panorama when I was 14, 15 years old. And probably that's where the love for it and the love for Eastside. By the way, congratulations, Eastside. Congratulations. Listen, Rainorama, we brought the rain. And that I think is what allowed me to be the kind of person that I am now, where I just like doing different things.
Okay, understood. And Dr. Faith, when you think about Belgarden, Glamorgan, and that constituency, what does that constituency mean to you? And what were some of the plans and initiatives you were able to roll out as area representative?
Certainly. So the district, when we shifted from 12 to 15, so when it was 12, my district included part of Mount St. George.
Okay.
So it went all the way up to part of Mount St. George, and it ended with part of Belgarden.
Okay.
So I kind of still feel like part of Mount St. George and part of Goodwood and so forth are still part of who I am and who I represent.
Nice.
But the district now starts at Goldsboro, that bridge in Goldsboro just before Weirdos thing, which is where coincidentally where my office is, and it goes all the way to the Kendall Farm School Junction. This is an area that is basically family. I mean, literally, you go up Zion Hill and everybody is your cousin, nene, uncle, granny, that kind of thing.
Yes.
That is just who we are as communities. So I think it's an honor to be able to represent them. Most of the things, because we have financial limitations, most of the hard things that people need are difficult to provide.
Okay.
A lot of people need help with like a brace wall and drain and the driveway and that kind of stuff. And quite a bit of that, those are things that I am unable to provide as quickly as we would like, simply because the division with responsibility for works for infrastructure, again, remember it's only $200 million we have for the whole country, for the whole island. Yeah. So those things are a little difficult to do. But because I recognize that those things are a little bit difficult, I have decided to do other things in the community to allow us to develop. Yeah.
Okay.
Before I forget though, let me just touch on the fact that as it relates to health, one of the projects that I am probably most excited about or proud about was that cataract reduction program, where we brought in some specialists. They came in every couple of weeks to do cataract surgeries, and we were able to knock out about over 2,000 cataract surgeries from when we started maybe 2 years ago till we ended in December. So I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
I just remembered that. So what I've been doing is in the community trying to raise the technical capacity of people there. On the campaign trail, one of the things that I have said is that I would love to be the area rep who allowed or facilitated residents to become millionaires.
Okay.
In a legal way. No kickback, no nothing. We're talking about you being a true businessman or woman, and you did it because of the support that I provided. So we've been doing quite a number of courses on how to register your business, how to get your bank accounting and that kind of stuff. With this new procurement legislation that now makes everything 100 million times more difficult, we've been doing courses so that the person who has a small business knows that this is how you can register on the procurement system so that you can get a contract with the government, for example. So I've been doing quite a lot of those kinds of trainings on the ground so that people could understand that this is what you need to do. No, you cannot just call me one morning and tell me I want, you could give me a contract. That's illegal. I can't do that, but I can help you get yourself or put yourself in a position where you would be able to bid for a contract and you would be able to successfully execute the contract. So those are the projects I've been working on. This month, I started doing a chill and chat in the community. So I think the producer has the footage or has the flyer where we have 2 sessions. We did one on Tuesday
And we're doing one this evening at the Bell Garden Community Center. And basically what I was saying is to the young people in the district, the young people in the area, come out and let's have a real conversation. Come out and let's have a real conversation about your life. We talk about the financial responsibilities. I tell them, honestly, my business where, you know, I have so much debt that even with my salary, I barely keeping my head above water. And I give examples of all of the lessons that I wished I had learned when I was 18 to not be 40 something and in this position now. So we talk about that. We talk about the employment opportunities and what needs to happen for employment to happen in a meaningful way. We talk about the business opportunities. We talk about what we need to do in the community to ensure that we are safe. I also have people who come from the division to provide support because we have therapeutic counselors, we have mediators, we have substance abuse prevention individuals within the division, and they are all part of the chill and chat so that people know that these are the services that are available. If you are having a difficult time with your family, if you need to talk, if you need to just come and cry, there are people who could help you with that. So we had the first one on Tuesday in the Pembroke Community Center. That was well attended. We had some deep conversations. A couple of the residents told me about the things that I did that disappointed them. And I truly appreciated having that kind of conversation because I don't think by any means that I'm a perfect area rep, and the things that I did or said that probably hurt them and what we could work on to do this better. And again, so if you are from the area, if you are between the ages of 15 and 35, well, just to be honest, we didn't turn anybody away. There were a couple people there. I know that man was more than 35. I know that man was more than 35, but it's okay. We came and we had the conversation. And you could come this afternoon in Bell Garden from 5 p.m. to continue having that conversation with me.
And you know, Dr. Faith, I think anyone who's listening or watching this interview, they can hear the passion and the level of care you have for your constituency. And from the interview, we know probably for general elections, there's a 50-50 chance you may or may not be contesting, but with THA elections...
It ain't even 50-50 at this point.
Okay, can we say 90-10?
95, 98, 90, 99, and the possibility
There's
still
a possibility.
exists. There's a possibility.
But in the perspective from the THA elections, can we expect to see you throwing your hat in the ring once again to represent these constituents?
I think so. We have a whole year to go for this period, this term to come to an end, and I will see where it goes. At this point, I have not, because I think that there are sometimes you decide I ain't going back. I am not at that point. I am going to see how it goes. If the people on the ground decide that they want me to recontest, then I will definitely work with the party so that the party is able to make the decision for the best person, because that is how I feel. I think that the best person should be picked to be the representative, and the party and the people on the ground may decide that I am not the best person, and that is fine. So I at this point I want to just go through the rest of the year successfully, and then we'll see what happens at the end, and it's really up to the people on the ground to decide.
Okay, nice. And Dr. Faith, in the event, hypothetically speaking, you don't throw your hat into the ring for the next CHA elections, what is one thing you would like the island of Tobago and Tobago people to remember you for when that time comes?
I think that is a really good question. I think I want people to recognize that I got into this purely because of my love of this island. Purely because even back then there were other political organizations that courted me, and I did not think that they genuinely loved Tobago. And because I didn't think they genuinely loved Tobago, that's why I made the choice that I made. And I am doing everything in my power to ensure that this island really gets to the state of being the greatest little island on the planet. And I am hoping that people recognize that it is a genuine concern that I have. It is a genuine thought, and it's a genuine mission that I have. Because to be honest, with my
qualifications and with my everything else, I could easily pick up tomorrow, pack my Georgie bundle and go anywhere else and work, and I would be fine. So the fact that I am here in Tobago is because I really genuinely want to be here and I want to provide this kind of support to the people, and I hope they remember that.
Okay, nice, Dr. Faith. So we're going to take a quick break once again, but we will be right back for you. So stick with us. Just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Morning, good morning. Put a smile on your
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Welcome back to Beneath the Surface right here at Tobago Updates. And yes, viewers, we are chatting with Dr. Faith Brebner. Now, Dr. Faith, you would have started your political career somewhat with the People's Democratic Patriots, that's Mr. Duke's party. And recently in social media, we would have observed that he would have made a call to Secretary Boris to somewhat return home. And we understand that the fight for autonomy can't just be a TPP conversation, just a PDP or PNM conversation. It needs to be a conversation where we come together as Tobagoans, really lead that advocacy campaign for constitutional reform. Do you think, in your opinion, that there's any hope for reconciliation with Mr. Duke and yourself or the TPP party at large?
So in 2016, when I contested the election in 2017, January 2017. I did that with the TPP, with the PDP, because at that time, that was the vessel that spoke about the things that I was most interested in, and I think that spoke about the things that Tobago needed. Yeah. Following that, the rest of us, and following the elections in 2021, December 2021, the only difference with the vision that we are running with is the fact that one gentleman decided that he no longer wanted to be a fighter. One gentleman decided that he no longer wanted to be on the side where you could actually fix things. One gentleman decided that he no longer wanted to do the hard work, pulled himself away, and went over to the side where all you would have to do is cuss. I was so disappointed with that. I was really, really disappointed with that, because I thought as an island and as I thought as a political force, we were building something from the ground up. We were a family that had come together to fight for Tobago. So it was very disappointing to have to go through that kind of transitioning. As I said in a previous interview, this is family. And there was actually a grieving process that has happened for me personally, to go through that. I was at the gym, I think earlier this week, and I heard the song Rock and Come In. And if you know us from the political side, we redid Rock and Come In for our party. And this Monday, while the song was playing, I recognized that for the very first time I was hearing the song and there was no sadness in my heart. There was no grieving, there was no aching, there was no me reminiscing, there was none of that. And I stood there in the gym for a little bit and I said, thanks to the Most High, you have allowed me to go through this grieving process. And I think I am finally out of it, where I no longer feel the hurt and the pain and so forth associated with what happened there. With that being said, I have, and as far as I am aware, our political organization that still has the core functions, the core members, the core philosophy, the core everything that took us through to 2021, we are still here. We are still doing it. We are coincidentally just wearing a different color because we were forced to. I remember the night when the gentleman said to me, get out of my party. I personally, at this point, there is no opportunity for reconciliation. Personally, at this point, there is no opportunity for reconciliation. What happens 2-3 years down the road? Who knows? But personally, at this point, the Tobago People's Party, it's clear that our mandate is to continue with what we came into this with, and we are going to do that on behalf of the people of Tobago. If that gentleman wants to spend his time joining in the fight for that, then so be it. We want all Tobagonians to use their voices wherever they are, in whatever circle they are in, to be a part of the fight for Tobago autonomy. I would appreciate it if he does. But at this point, we are laser focused. We know where we're going, and Tobago should have confidence that what we are doing is for the people of Tobago, and we will not be distracted.
Okay, understood. And Dr. Faith, if you were to just rate yourself and your tenure thus far, probably, I'm not sure which scale to use, if it's 1 to 10 or good, bad, excellent. Which one would you be comfortable with? Which scale?
I would do the like, well, they're all like it. I would do the like it scale. I'll do the 1 to 10.
Okay.
I would say probably so far, maybe a 7, 7.5.
Why?
For the first year, we had no clue what we were doing. Like, when I tell you no clue, listen, you know it is to walk into a room to see files, and somebody has to tell you that the number on the top is the minute number, and the minute number you need to put in brackets, and the number that says this is what the document is a folio number, and that needs to be put in a circle. And somebody is now bringing a file that says all of these things, and you now have to decipher and then put your signature, because it is your signature that determines what happens with these people's lives. Didn't know what was the role of the administrator, didn't know who was the AE, whatever, did not know what procurement was, did not know. So for that first year, we had no clue. We were OJTs and we are learning. I am at the point now where I am still learning quite a lot about what is happening. And because of that, and because of our opportunities for improvement, I actually think that although we have done a lot, we now need to buckle down, having understood the system, to deliver even more for the people of Tobago. So I would say 7.5, probably 8, depending on which department you're looking at, but in that range.
Okay, and if you were to probably aim for that 10 out of 10 scale, especially in this year 2025, what are some initiatives you would like to roll out, or some things you would like to accomplish? So when you are asked this question once again, you could say confidently, you know what, 10 out of 10.
So I don't know that I will ever say 10 out of 10, because in my mind, there's always room for improvement. There's always an opportunity to be better. And that is how I function. That is how I think. That is how I drive myself and my staff. But some of the projects that we have, so we have a cardiac project that we are rolling out soon with a big name international agency. And I won't call their name yet because we're not at that point yet. But one of the things that we are recognizing is that we are seeing a lot of heart-related illnesses on the island. And we needed to do something to help our doctors and nurses and so forth, and to help the population at large treat with those. If we and when we roll out that project, I think the ripple effect would be so large that we would actually be seeing a reduction in all of the other chronic non-communicable diseases, because the things that it will fix to prevent heart disease are the things that you will fix to prevent diabetes and so forth. So I am excited about rolling that out. As it relates to social protection, we've started the groundwork, but one of the things we want to do, and we've started working on it, is the digitization of our grants system, so that you don't have to come in and fill out the form. You could be on your phone, you could take the picture of your ID, you could send it in, and the process will start. Of course, the social workers would still need to come home by you to see what is going on, to do the assessment, but at least that part. So if you could roll out that, I think, which we are on our way to doing, I think I would be happy about that as well. And then we would want to roll that over to what is happening in public health, what is happening in the TRHE, with the digitalization of all of those services. So I think those are some of the projects. Public health specifically. From the time when I left the THA back when, how much years ago? The issues with our task force as part of the Department of Public Health not having a home, working out of a shack, literally not having anywhere to put their tools, to store things, that was an issue when I left. It is still an issue now. My aim is that by the end of this financial year, we should finally have a home for task force. We should finally have a place for our mechanics people to do their work properly, and we should finally have a better space for some of the lab work that's needed for our public health services and so forth. So in this year, those are some of the projects that we are working on. And I think that when we get to the end of those, then I could say we're probably at an 8.5, pushing to get to the 10.
Okay, nice. And if you could go back and just give one piece of advice to Dr. Faith Brebner, who first stepped into public office, what would that piece of advice be?
What would it be? It's gonna be okay. I think that I spent quite a bit of my time, even as a young person, not being okay. And what I have recognized now is that it is going to be okay. It is going to be fine. We have the capacity within us to withstand whatever it is, to withstand whatever they bring. As long as something is coming to you, it is because somewhere within you, you already have the capacity to deal with it. And knowing that, I think, is going to help, would have helped me back then, and would definitely help us going forward. So, yeah, it's going to be okay.
Okay, nice. And I think this is my final question. It's a question I've asked most of the secretaries and councillors that came on the show. When you think about the island of Tobago, what does Tobago mean to you personally?
Because I spent 10 years of my life in the United States going to school. And while I was there, I recognized that so many of the things that we take for granted here, people out there would kill for, would love to be a part of, would love to just experience. The concept of us just liming, just friends getting together, talking, drinking, having fun, is one that is not seen in other places. That brings us so much mental stability that we don't even recognize it. when I was in Pittsburgh, I used to go down to a point where 3 rivers connected, because it was one of the few places where I would find flowing live water. Tobago is surrounded
yes.
by that. So I think that what we have naturally here is something that we need to cherish, something that we need to figure out how to maintain. Because I know sometimes when we think about development, we think about all of these huge buildings and that kind of stuff, which is not necessarily what is best for us. So it's something that we need to figure out how to maintain, how to keep, how to retain that kind of homeliness that a Tobagonian brings, that the island brings, but still be able to provide for the people the amenities, the ease, the things that allows us to still function in this world. And being a part of that, being a part of an administration that is working towards that, and being a part of an island trying to preserve that, to me is so important.
Okay, nice, Dr. Fee. That was really heartwarming, very heartwarming. And seeing that we have 3 more minutes, I'm just going to ask one more bonus question. Walk me through your decision to sort of reintegrate and bring back Dr. Baker into the healthcare system.
So actually, that was not my decision.
Okay.
Apparently, Dr. Baker had actually interviewed before I became secretary with responsibility for health. And when I became secretary, he, I think at that time, decided, yeah, this is the time.
Okay.
So we've been working very closely. We've been working very closely. So Dr. Baker being, you said Dr. Baker, and I'm thinking Dr. Duke. So that is the Dr. Duke story. Dr. Baker is the new CEO of the TRHA. And Dr. Baker actually I did not even know that he had applied, and went through the process of being interviewed again. Because I want people to recognize that even though the TRHA is under my purview, they have an entire system that functions on their own there. So he interviewed, he topped the interview, and then I got the report from the board that says, hey, guess who topped this interview?
Nice.
My good friend Delman. Coincidentally, he and I actually went to school in Signal Hill. We did sixth form together in Signal Hill. So I was very, very happy. And I actually think he's actually been doing a really good job, even though it's only been a month. He comes with a level of calm, and he comes with a level of understanding both the clinical side of it. He understands the administrative side of it. He understands the humanity side of it. And he also understands the politics of it, because he has that history of being a politician as well. And I think that is a really good mix to lead an organization that has been in flux, that has been in topsy-turvy for a while. He really comes with a level of calm that I truly appreciate, and I think the people on the ground appreciate as well.
So, Dr. Faith, I want to thank you for agreeing to sit down in the Beneath the Surface seat this morning. I think this morning's conversation was extremely multifaceted. We were able to see different levels and layers, and even the layers that the public don't usually see, to Dr. Faith Brebner. So I want to thank you once again, and you do have a blessed and productive day. Now, viewers, we have reached the end of this interview, and I want to thank you all who always believe in the vision of Tobago Updates, believe in the impact we have on the island of Tobago. It's always good to tune in and have the conversations with you all. So you be safe. We are not done. Tomorrow is going to be the season finale of the series, where we will be interviewing the Chief Secretary, Mr. Farley Augustine. So tune in tomorrow, and we will be ending things on a high note. So just be safe today, guys. Thank you so much for choosing Tobago Updates to start your morning on the right note. And remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.